Welcome to this memory meditation. In this video, we are going to memorize together 10 Stoic quotes. 7 of them are from Marcus Aurelius, and the others are Seneca and Epictetus. If you're a veteran of memory training or if you're brand new, this is going to work for you as I will walk you through how to memorize all 10 of these quotes. By the way, if you enjoy this process and you would like memory coaching in a memory course, I'm a 2-time USA memory champion and I have a memory course in the description below. Click the link and get my free gift. But for now, I'm going to go through and I'm going to say all 10 quotes from memory so you can get a feel for them. You can get them in your head. That's the first step of the memory process, to hear the information. Once you have a feel for it, then we're going to go back and I'm going to walk you through how to memorize this. We're going to do this together, whether you're a veteran or a beginner in the world of memory. Here are the 10 quotes. Suffering arises from trying to control the uncontrollable. Epictetus. What I advise you to do is not to be unhappy before the crisis comes. Seneca. But if a thing is humanly possible, consider it to be within your reach. Marcus Aurelius. Remind yourself of what you've been through and what you've had the strength to endure. Marcus Aurelius. Before you blame someone else, think about the last time you did the same thing. Marcus Aurelius. The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do, only what you do. Marcus Aurelius. Just do the right thing. The rest does not matter. Marcus Aurelius. Acting on your anger makes everything worse than just feeling your anger. Marcus Aurelius. The entire future lives in uncertainty. Live immediately. Seneca. People are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them. Seneca. Now, whether you are a veteran of memory or a beginner, if you're a veteran of memory, you already have your mind palace. And I want you to go to that mind palace in your mind. And I want you to stand in the doorway of the first room, and I just want you to start looking at all the furniture. And I want you to start floating around that room and the next room, observing it, feeling it, smelling it, touching it, tasting it. If you are a beginner to memory and you don't know what a mind palace is, that's okay. This is what I want you to do. I want you to think about the house that you live in. And I want you to visualize yourself standing in a doorway of one of the rooms. This could be, make sure it's either a room on the outside of the house or on the outer perimeter. So a room at the front of the house or a room at the back of the house, because we're going to start in that room and walk all the way through the house. You don't want to start in the middle. Pick a room on the outer perimeter, the front or the back. It doesn't matter which one. Go with your first instinct. Now you're standing in the doorway of that room. If you already have your mind palace created, you are also standing in the doorway of that room in your mind. Now I want you to look around that room. If you already have your mind palace created, you've got your furniture selected. If you do not have it already created, I want you to number 5 pieces of furniture in this room. Standing in the doorway, look to your immediate left. What's the first big piece of furniture right there? Is it a desk, a bed, a dresser, a TV? Whatever it is, make that number 1. We're going to go around this room clockwise. The next one is number 2. Desk, bed, TV, dresser, bookshelf, lamp, computer, table, shower, sink, closet, chair, couch, lamp, picture. 1, 2. Go around the room clockwise. 3, you should be in the middle of the room now. 4, what is it? A window, a chair, a table, a couch, a bench, a bookshelf. And then number 5. If you already have your mind palace created, you're not restricted to only using 5. Use whatever number you already have. That's okay. Let's go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last time, backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Let's stop on piece of furniture number 1, and let's remember the verse. Suffering arises from trying to control the uncontrollable. Visualize this piece of furniture in your mind, your number 1 furniture right there. And I want you to imagine a ring. Somebody is on this piece of furniture and they're wearing a ring. And they are suffering. They are crying. They are sad. And say to yourself, suffering. See them there. See the ring. See them crying. Ring. And they're suffering. And say to yourself, suffering. Now imagine that hand that the ring is on. It begins to get elevated. And it's rising up and it's up. And they're raising their hand as if they're raising their hand in class, like in a school. Now say to yourself, suffering arises. The hand is rising. Suffering arises. And then when their hand gets all the way to the top, we need a picture for the word from. I think of the word foam, like there's foam on water, just because foam ends, it begins in F, it ends in M, and so does from. Every time I see the word from, I think of foam. They're wearing a ring. Their hand is down on the piece of furniture, and they're suffering. Their hand raises as if they're in class, arises. Suffering arises. They get to the top, and their hand is covered with foam. From. Suffering arises. From. They have a leash, like a dog is. You have a leash on a dog, and this leash is attached to a tornado, and they are trying to control the tornado with that leash. Like a dog on a leash, they've got a tornado on a leash, and that tornado is growing everywhere, and they're trying to control it, and they can't control it because nothing is more uncontrollable than a tornado. Let's go back to the beginning. You're wearing a ring and you're suffering. The hand raises, arises, foam, from. A leash on a tornado, from trying to control the uncontrollable. See that image in your mind and say the phrase, suffering arises from trying to control the uncontrollable. Suffering arises from trying to control the uncontrollable. This was a quote by Epictetus. Epictetus, I always think of a t-shirt, and it is epic. It is an Epictetus. An Epictetus, the person who is trying to control the tornado, is wearing a t-shirt that is epic. It is an Epictetus. One last time, see the picture, say the quote. Suffering arises. The hand is rising up. It has foam on it for from. Suffering arises from a leash on a tornado. Suffering arises from trying to control the uncontrollable. Now let's go to piece of furniture number 2 in that room. We're going to put a Seneca quote here. Here's the quote. What I advise you to do is not to be unhappy before the crisis comes. What is the first word? We're going to use a glass of water for what? See it sitting there on that piece of furniture, a glass of water, and say what? In the water is an eyeball and it's floating. What eye? Looking down into that glass of water is somebody with a sun visor on. What I advise. Now they're pointing at you. You. What I advise you to do. On this, the hand that is pointing towards you maybe says, ta-da, they're a magic trick. What I advise you, ta-da. What I advise you to do. See that picture there, a glass of water, an eyeball, and a sun visor. What I advise, they're pointing at you, and then they say ta-da, ta-da. What I advise you to do. The next phrase is not be. I want you to see a rope and it's tied in a knot and bumblebees are flying all over it like there's honey on it and they're all over that piece of furniture on that piece of rope. Look at that piece of rope tied in a knot and bumblebees are on it and you say is not be. Go back to the beginning. A glass of water and an eyeball. What I, sun visor, advise. What I advise, they're pointing at you. You, ta-da, to do. What I advise you to do. The rope in a knot at bees is not be. And then there's somebody there and they are unhappy and they're crying next to those bees is not be unhappy. And this person that is not unhappy is actually a bumblebee that's unhappy. This person is not actually a person, it's a bumblebee. A bumblebee that's unhappy. And this bumblebee has a number 4 on his shirt. Bear with me here for a second. This is going to make sense. What? Water. I. Sun visor. Advise. Pointing to you. You. Ta-da! What I advise you to do. Not and a bee. Is not be. Now behind it is a large bee. And they're unhappy. Is not be. Unhappy. What is on the bee's shirt? The number 4. That's a B4. Let's go back to the beginning. What I advise you to do. Rope with a B, not with a B, is not be. They're crying, unhappy, unhappy. What are they wearing? A 4 on their shirt. It's a B with a 4 on his shirt. B4. Water. Eyeball, sun visor. What I advise, pointing to you. What I advise you, ta-da, to do. What I advise you to do, the knot with bees on it, is not be. Unhappy, and what is the t-shirt? Before. And then what's in the background? Zombies. The crisis comes. That's the entire quote. By the way, most of the quotes are shorter. This is a longer one. If you got this one, you got them all. Water, eyeball. What I, sun visor. What I advise, pointing at you. You, ta-da, what I advise you to do. A knot with bees, is not be. Unhappy, a bee with a 4 on it. Before, chased by zombies. The crisis comes. What I advise you to do is not be unhappy before the crisis comes. Now let's review. Now let's go back and review piece of furniture number 1 before we advance. Suffering arises from trying to control the uncontrollable. Epictetus. The one we just did. What I advise you to do is not to be unhappy before the crisis comes. This is from Seneca. I always think of a mailbox because I'm sending a letter. So put a mailbox on the ground in front of that piece of furniture and say Seneca for send. Send Seneca. Seneca. Let's go to piece of furniture number 3 now. On piece of furniture number 3, I want you to see butter and a ring, like a wedding ring, is in the butter. But if a thing, butter, but, ring, thing. But if a thing, see that on that piece of furniture. But if a thing, in the background, someone is climbing to the top of Mount Everest. But if a thing is humanly possible, butter and a ring, but if a thing is humanly possible, Mount Everest. At the top of Mount Everest is a convict sitting. Consider. Convict sitting. But if a thing is humanly possible, and when you get to the top of Mount Everest, you're reaching out and there's a convict sitting there. But if a thing is humanly possible, convict sitting, consider, and you're reaching out, it within your reach. But if a thing is humanly possible, consider it within your reach. This is our first of 7 Marcus Aurelius quotes. Just remember, if you want to visualize your coloring the mountain with a marker, a black marker, that'll help you remember Marcus Aurelius. Marker for Marcus. Butter in a ring. But if a thing, Mount Everest, is humanly possible, a convict sitting, consider, and you're reaching out, it to be within your reach. Marcus Aurelius. Let's review the previous 3. Suffering arises from trying to control the uncontrollable. Epictetus. What I advise you to do is not to be unhappy before the crisis comes. Seneca. Butter in a ring. But if a thing, climbing Mount Everest, is humanly possible, convict sitting, consider reaching out, it to be within your reach. Marcus Aurelius. Piece of furniture number 4. A VHS cassette. Remember those? A cassette tape being rewound. Rewound. It's and rewound. Rewind. Remind yourself, on top of the VHS or the cassette being rewound is a glass of water for the word what. Remind yourself of what. And I want you to imagine somebody's driving right through it on a thoroughfare, a highway. Remind yourself. Remind yourself, on top of it, water. Remind yourself of what? Somebody driving through it. Remind yourself of what you've been through. Right next to that is another glass of water that ants are climbing in. Ants for the word ant, A-N-D. And what is a glass of water? It's the word what. And what? Go back. We're on piece of furniture number 4. You see a cassette or a VHS being rewound. Remind yourself, a glass of water on top, of what? Driving through. You've been through. Remind yourself of what? Water. You've been through. Next to that, a bunch of ants walking over to another glass of water. And what? Next to that, there is a bench press and somebody's really strong. And what? You've had the strength to endure. For the strength to endure, I just imagine the bench press and I'm lifting a lot of weights. But then I also imagine just rain beating down and it's just torturing me while I'm working out. But I have the strength to endure it. Let's go back. A cassette being rewound. Remind yourself, on top of it is a glass of water. Remind yourself of what? Water. And then driving through it. You've been through. A string of ants is walking from that pitcher to the next glass of water. And ants. Glass of water. What? Remind yourself of what you've been through. And what? On a bench press, you've had the strength raining down to endure. This is also Marcus Aurelius. Just remember, we're in a string of 7 consecutive Marcus Aureliuses. Let's go back to the first one we memorized. Piece of furniture number 1. Somebody's suffering in a ring. They're raising their hand. Suffering arises. They get up to the top of there's foam. From. Suffering arises from trying to control the uncontrollable. And wearing an epic t-shirt. Epictetus. Let's go to piece of furniture number 2. On piece of furniture number 2, we have water, what, and an eyeball, I, a sun visor, advise, what I advise, they're pointing at you, ta-da, to do. What I advise you to do, a not with a B, is not be, and there's an unhappy B. Unhappy, the number 4 on his shirt. Before zombies chasing you, the crisis comes. What I advise you to do is not be unhappy before the crisis comes. There's a mailbox. You're sending it. Seneca. Number 3. Butter in a ring. But if a thing, Mount Everest, is humanly possible, a convict at the top, sitting. Convict sit. Consider. But if a thing is humanly possible, consider you're reaching out, it to be within your reach. Marcus Aurelius. Number 4. Rewind. Remind yourself, glass of water, of what? Been through. Ants walking to another glass of water. And what? Bench press, strength. You've had the strength, rain beating down, to endure. Marcus Aurelius. Piece of furniture number 5. We're almost halfway there on this meditation. Don't go anywhere. You're going to be so proud of yourself when you're done with this. You're going to be so proud. And when you are done, don't forget to get my free gift, to get my memory course in the comments below. You're on number 5. Here's another Marcus Aurelius quote. Don't give up on me. You're going to be so proud of yourself. Before you blame someone else, think about the last time you did the same thing. Before, on this piece of furniture, on the left side of the piece of furniture, I want you to see a bumblebee with a 4 on his shirt. Before, and he is pointing over to his left, blaming someone. Before you blame someone else, and there's someone else being blamed, a bumblebee with a 4. Before you're pointing to someone, you blame someone else. Up above everything, I want you to see a light bulb floating in the sky. Think. A light bulb to represent the word think. Before pointing to someone, blaming them. Before you blame, there's somebody else over there. Before you blame someone else, a light bulb in the sky. Think. Before you blame someone else, think. I want you to see a big old grandfather clock under the light bulb to represent the word time. Time. And this grandfather clock is in line. And the grandfather clock, there's a bunch of people in front of him, and the grandfather clock is the last in line, the last time. Let's go back to the beginning. Before you blame someone else, light bulb, think, last in line, about the last time, clock, pointing at you. You did the same thing. And when on that finger that's pointing at you is a ring to represent thing. A bumblebee with a 4 on it, pointing to someone, blaming them. Before you blame, there's someone over there, someone else. Up in the sky, floating above them, a light bulb. Think, a line, and at the end of the line is a clock. Think about the last in line, clock, time. Before you blame someone else, think, light bulb, last in line, clock, the last time. A finger is coming out of the clock and pointing at you. You, and it's wearing a ring for thing, did the same thing. Before you blame someone else, think about the last time you did the same thing. Marcus Aurelius. Let's review all 5 in this room now before we go to the next room. We're halfway there. Don't give up on me. Suffering arises from trying to control the uncontrollable. Epictetus. What I advise you to do is not be unhappy before the crisis comes. Seneca. But if a thing is humanly possible, consider it to be within your reach. Marcus Aurelius. Remind yourself what you've had the strength to endure. Remind yourself of all that you've been through and what you've had the strength to endure. Marcus Aurelius. Before you blame someone else, think about the last time you did the same thing. Now this next one, number 6, I want you to go into your next room. Whatever room is adjacent, it is near this room, I want you to walk over there. And I want you to walk in this new room now. As you walk in this new room, I want you to look to your immediate left, and that is number 6. What big piece of furniture is there? That's 6. Go around the room clockwise and pick 5 more. This will be 6 through 10. If you already have your mind palettes created, just review. 6, 7. You're picking big pieces of furniture, not 5. You're spreading them out around the room. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Go with the first thing that pops to your mind. Don't overthink it. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. One last time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. One more time. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Now you're standing in this room. You look to your immediate left. You're on number 6. This one is probably along verse 2, just like number 2 was, but the rest are very short. The tranquility The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do, only what you do. And again, this is Marcus Aurelius. The tranquility that comes. I want you to see some water, and it's still waters. It's tranquil waters, still. And you're combing your hair. The tranquility that comes. The tranquility that comes. Sitting by still, tranquil water, combing your hair. The tranquility that comes. The tranquility that comes. You look across the water, and there's a Care Bear. You remember the Care Bears? The bears where they had unique names and they represented love or caring. The tranquility that comes, and there's a Care Bear at a stop sign. When you stop caring, and this Care Bear starts talking, and you don't care. Then you look deeper into the Care Bear's eyes, and you see it thinking, and you don't care. And then the Care Bear walks away, and you don't care. Say, think, or do. Say is first, think is second, do is next. Say, think, or do. Take it from the top. The tranquility that comes. The tranquility that comes. A Care Bear at a stop sign. You're looking at him while you're sitting at this tranquil water. The tranquility that comes when you stop caring and it's talking. What they say. You look in their eyes and it's thinking. Or think. It walks away. Or do. The tranquility that comes. Care Bear at a stop sign. When you stop caring what they say or think or do. And then you look back at yourself and maybe you're drinking a Mountain Dew Cola. Only what you do. Do, Mountain Dew. Only what you do. Only what you do. This is a Marcus Aurelius quote. You're on number 6. You're sitting there. You're visualizing on that furniture. That you're sitting on that furniture in front of tranquil water combing your hair. The word comb for come. The tranquility that comes across the piece of furniture is a Care Bear at a stop sign. When you stop caring, Care Bear, the Care Bear starts talking. What they say, the Care Bear is thinking or think. The Care Bear walks away or do. Now you go back to you and you're drinking a Mountain Dew. Only what you do. The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, think, or do. Only what you do. Let's move to number 7 now. This is a simple, easy one. Number 7. Just do the right thing. The rest does not matter. You're looking at that number piece of furniture, number 7. You're in your second room, the second piece of furniture in the room. It's number 7 overall. You're still standing in that doorway. You've just looked at piece of furniture number 1, which is 6 overall. Now you're on the next piece of furniture. It's 7 overall. Just do the right thing. I got a Nike swoosh. Just do it. Just do it. And that swoosh is off to the right. Just do the right thing. Maybe on the end of the swoosh, Nike swoosh, you see a ring right there. A ring hanging down off the Nike swoosh. Thing for ring. Ring for thing. Just do the right thing. And then down below it, there's all this other stuff going on, but it doesn't matter. Just do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. The rest does not matter. Just do the right thing. A Nike swish. Just do it. Just do the right thing. And it's off to the right, and there's a ring on it. Just do the right thing. The rest does not matter. Review number 6. The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do, only what you do. Now review the one we just did, number 7. Just do the right thing. The Nike swoosh is on that piece of furniture. Imagine you're drawing it on that furniture, and it's off to the right, and there's a ring on the end of it. Just do the right thing. And down below it's a bunch of stuff, but it doesn't matter. Just do the right thing. The rest does not matter. On piece of furniture number 8, I want you to see a famous actor. It could be whoever you want. Tom Cruise, Will Smith, famous actor, whoever you want. I'm going to think of William Shakespeare. That's a famous actor from a long time ago. The word is acting. Think of an actor for acting. Acting on, I'm going to have an anchor, like an anchor to a ship for the word anger. And William Shakespeare, or you whoever you want, Tom Cruise, Will Smith, Meg Ryan, that's a famous, Julie Roberts, an actor on an anchor, acting on your anger. And then as you're acting on your anger, everything just gets worse and there's chaos all around it. As you're on piece of furniture number 8, you see that person acting on an anger and it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And they start tearing out their hair and they're getting angrier and angrier. Actor on your anger, acting on your anger makes everything worse. Now, on the other side of that piece of furniture is that same actor, but they're just softly petting the anchor. They're softly rubbing their hands over the ship's anchor. They're softly and calming rubbing their hands on the ship's anchor. Acting on your anger makes everything worse than just feeling your anchor. Feeling your anchor, A-N-C-H-O-R, anger, A-N-G-E-R. Then feeling your anchor, then feeling your anger. You can't even see if I'm saying anchor or anger. That's how interchangeable those words are, and that's why it works so beautifully. Acting on your anger, and then everything gets worse as you're acting on top of your anger. Acting on your anger, and then over there you're just feeling your anger, and you're just touching it. Acting on your anger makes everything worse than just feeling your anger. That was the last of 7 in a row Marcus Aurelius quotes. I don't think we have to attach a marker to each one to know it's Marcus Aurelius if we just know that that was the last one in the Marcus Aurelius quote. So maybe you colored that one with a marker. You've got a Marcus Aurelius quote on the first one, but if a thing is humanly possible, consider it to be within your reach. And the last one, number 8, acting on your anger makes everything worse than just feeling your anger. Color that one with a marker, and that's the end of the Marcus Aurelius quotes. 2 last ones, and then we're done. Don't give up on me. I hope you're proud of yourself. This is going to be so cool when you can just close your eyes and say these at any time when you need Stoic wisdom. The entire future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. Seneca. So on this one, I have a tire on a car. And this tire is the car, and on a car, the car is the Back to the Future car, the DeLorean. The tire on a car, future, the Back to the Future car, the entire future. I want you to see somebody in front of that car and they're lying to you. You got somebody that you think always lies to you. See them, lies. The entire future lies in uncertainty. Maybe they have a letter U on their shirt and a certificate stapled to their shirt for certainty. U, it starts with U, uncertificate, uncertainty. The entire future, a liar, lies, a certificate on their shirt with a U, in uncertainty. The entire future, a tire in a car, the Back to the Future car. The entire future, someone lying, lies, in uncertainty. Live immediately. I would just see myself, whatever I think living is, getting on a plane and traveling, I would see myself hopping out of that car and getting on a plane and traveling, taking off. Live immediately, and you do it right away. Focusing on the tires of the car, the Back to the Future car, the entire future, somebody lying, standing in front of the car, lies. They got a certificate stapled to their shirt, and maybe there's a U on their shirt. In uncertainty, certificate for certainty, in uncertainty. A tire in a car, future, Back to the Future, somebody lying, lies, uncertainty, getting on a plane and taking off immediately. Live immediately. Now, in front of this piece of furniture, there's a mailbox, and you're sending a letter. It's a Seneca quote. The entire future lives in uncertainty. Live immediately. We got one last one to do here, and let's review all 6 of these before we go to the last one. The first one was the tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, think, or do, only what you do. Marcus Aurelius. Just do the right thing, the rest does not matter. Marcus Aurelius. Acting on your anger makes everything worse than just feeling your anger. Marcus Aurelius. The entire future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. Marcus Aurelius. And finally, the last one. I want you to see a bunch of people and a car crashes right next to them, but they just keep talking. They're unfazed. People are not disturbed. And by the way, when this car crashes into the wall there on that piece of furniture, a bunch of rings, just thousands of rings go flying out. People are not disturbed by things. People are not disturbed by things. Now they put on some glasses and they look at the things and they start crying. There's people. A car crashes beside of them and a bunch of rings fly out, but they're undisturbed. People are not disturbed by things, rings. People are not disturbed by things. Then they put on some glasses. By the way, they have butter on their hands, their fingers. They're eating buttered popcorn. But they put on glasses. The view. And then they look at them, take of them. People are not disturbed by things. There's a bunch of people, a car crashes, the rings pop out and go flying everywhere, and they're undisturbed. People are not disturbed by things. They're eating popcorn, they have butter on their hands, but they put on glasses. The view they take of them. They look at the car crash and then they start crying after they look at it. But by the view they take of them. Butter, but, view, glasses, take of them. People are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them. This is a Epictetus shirt. I want you to see an Epictetus shirt, an epic t-shirt stapled to this car accident, stapled to this image, or wrapped around the piece of furniture. Let's say this one. People are not disturbed by things. Butter on your fingers, but putting on glasses, the view they take of them, an epic t-shirt. Review the one before. The entire attire in a car, Back to the Future car, the entire future, somebody lying, lies. They're wearing a certificate on their shirt. In uncertainty, they get on an airplane and fly. Live immediately, Seneca. Acting on your anger makes everything worse than just feeling your anger. Now I'm going to go all the way back to number 1. We're going to say them 1 to 10 all the way through, and we will be done. Here we go. Suffering. A ring, in your suffering, the ring rises. Suffering arises from a dog leash on a tornado, from trying to control the uncontrollable. Number 2 piece of furniture, a glass of water with an eyeball on it, and you have a visor. What I advise, pointing at you. Ta-da! What I advise you to do, a knot with a bumblebee on it, is not be. Then there is a bee that's unhappy. Unhappy. What I advise you to do. Water, what? I, of sun visor, advise. What I advise you, ta-da! What I advise you to do. A knot and a bee, is not be. An unhappy bee. Unhappy. The bee has a 4 on his shirt. Before zombies, the crisis comes. What I advise you to do is not be unhappy before the crisis comes. Number 3, butter in a ring. But if a thing, Mount Everest, is humanly possible, a convict sitting, consider you're reaching out, it to be within your reach. But if a thing is humanly possible, consider it to be in your reach. This is a mountain covered with a marker, so it's the beginning of 7 Marcus Aurelius quotes. Number 4, rewinding. Remind yourself. Water. Of what? Going a truck driving through. Remind yourself of what you've been through. Ants walking over to a glass of water. And what? Bench press. You've had the strength. Rain going down to endure. Marcus Aurelius. By the way, in the future, I want you to think back to this. Man, I don't know if I can memorize something. Think back to this meditation and what you just accomplished here. Remind yourself of what you've had, of what you've been through, and what you've had the strength to endure. Remind yourself of this quote and all that you accomplished in this lesson. Number 5, before you blame someone else, light bulb, think last in line. Think about the last time, a clock. Before you blame someone else, think about the last time, pointing at you and a finger has a ring on it. Before you blame someone else, think last in line time about the last time you did the same thing, ring. Think about the last time you did the same thing. Now go to the last room, number 6. On number 6, you're sitting there by a tranquil pond. The tranquility in your combing your hair that comes, combs. The tranquility that comes, a Care Bear at a stop sign. When you stop caring what the Care Bear is talking, what they say, the Care Bear is thinking, or think, the Care Bear walks away, or do. The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think, or do. Now the focus goes back to you and you're drinking a Mountain Dew Cola. Only what you do. Next piece of furniture, number 7. A Nike Just Right, just do it, and it's off to the right. Just do the right, and there's a ring on it. Just do the right thing. There's a bunch of stuff below it, but it doesn't matter. Just do the right thing. The rest does not matter. Number 8. An actor on an anchor, making everything worse. Acting on your anger makes everything worse. And then an actor feeling the anchor, than just feeling your anger. This is the last of the Marcus Aurelius quotes. Just remember, all 7 of those are Marcus Aurelius. The entire future, a tire on a car, the Back to the Future car, the entire future, somebody lying, lies. They have a certificate on their shirt. In uncertainty. The entire future lies in uncertainty. Get on a plane and travel immediately. Live immediately. There's a mailbox there. Seneca. Last one. There's a bunch of people, and a car accident happens right beside them, and a bunch of rings pop out of the car. People, and they are not disturbed. People are not disturbed by things, by rings, the rings flying out. People are not disturbed by things. Now that person has butter on their hands, but they put on the glasses, the view they take of them. This is an epic scene, and you're finishing an epic list. Remember, the beginning of this list, number 1 was Epictetus, and we finish with Epictetus. Marcus Aurelius in the middle, and 1 Seneca. Guys, if you want my memory course, there's a link down in the below. I have a free gift for you. Go click the link, enter your email address, get the free gift. But also, this is a memory meditation. I hope that you enjoy this. I'll see you on future memory meditations. My name's Ron White. I'm a 2-time USA memory champion. The brain is the greatest computer ever created. I look forward to seeing you again, and I look forward to seeing you when you get my free gift. Link below. Thank you.